Warning: the following story is based on true events. Viewer discretion is advised.
Are you the patient?
My daughter, she's not breathing.
She's not breathing.
No,
She's not breathing at all.
no.
What's the address of the emergency, please? And how old is your daughter?
She's two.
2 years old.
Yeah,
She's not breathing at all.
no.
This tragic story begins in Stoke-on-Trent, a city in central England with a population of around 250,000 people. On the surface, Stoke-on-Trent seems like a peaceful place known for its pottery industry and beautiful nature trails. It was in Stoke-on-Trent in 2016 where a happy young girl named Macy Hogan lived with her family. Macy was just 2 years old and loved people and animals. She always wore a smile and trusted everyone around her. Macy was the daughter of Cody Jackson and Paul Hogan. Cody and Paul had met in 2013 at a friend's house party. Cody was still in school at the time, while Paul was 3 years older. When Cody was just 17 years old, she gave birth to their daughter Macy. Though they were young and lacked financial means, Cody and Paul were overjoyed to become parents. Macy also received a great deal of support from her extended family. Paul recalls Macy's playful nature with fondness, understanding how special the bond is between parent and young child. Unfortunately for Macy and Paul, their life together would soon be torn apart in the most horrific way imaginable. Over the following years, Cody and Paul's relationship became increasingly strained. Whether Macy added extra pressures or their romance was always doomed is unclear. But by autumn 2016, it had become apparent to Paul that he wanted to leave his girlfriend. After a weekend-long argument, Paul packed his bags and departed Cody's home, likely sometime between October 1st to 2nd. Cody was devastated by the breakup, believing her life was over. On the afternoon of October 10th, the emergency services in Stoke-on-Trent received an alarming phone call. It was Cody, pleading that her 2-year-old daughter Macy wasn't breathing and was unresponsive. The call handler did their best to guide Cody through life-saving measures like CPR until paramedics arrived at the scene.
Can I have the answer, please?
Are you the patient?
My daughter, she's not breathing.
She's not breathing.
No,
She's not breathing at all.
no.
What's the address of the emergency, please? And how old is your daughter?
She's two.
2 years old.
Yeah,
She's not breathing at all.
no.
Okay, help is being arranged. You need to stay on the telephone with me and listen very carefully. I'm going to tell you what to do to help, okay? I need you to lie flat on her back on the floor. Can you do that for me now?
Ow!
You need to put her onto the floor for me, okay? I'm going to tell you how
I
to
can't
help.
move. Every time I move, it hurts.
Pardon?
Every time I move, it hurts.
Right, but we need to help your daughter if she's not breathing. You need to lie her flat on her back on the floor for me, please.
Though the operator couldn't see inside the apartment, Cody's cries of anguish sounded truly genuine. They had no reason to doubt this was a mother in the midst of a dreadful accident, desperately trying to revive her little girl. Little did they know, Cody's wails were entirely fabricated, as were the stab wounds she inflicted upon herself to convince emergency responders of her story. When police arrived alongside the ambulance, no one answered the door. They were forced to break inside, discovering Macy's body blocking the entrance. Cody was beside her, pretended to perform CPR in a half-hearted fashion. Her actions only added to the suspicion, along with the unanswered door and Macy's lifeless, stiff body clearly showing signs of prolonged death. An autopsy would later confirm Macy had passed away hours before Cody even dialed for help. She died from severe brain and lung injuries, likely caused by suffocation with a pillow, blanket, or plastic bag. Macy had been a perfectly healthy 2-year-old prior, with her entire life still ahead of her. Every indication pointed to Cody pretending there had been an accident to cover her own involvement in Macy's murder. As police investigated further, troubling clues emerged inside Cody's apartment. A disturbing suicide note addressed to her uncle, expressing her unwillingness to go on living without Macy by her side. And most shockingly of all, a text Cody sent Paul just 2 days before, with the final picture she had taken of little Macy, saying, "Sorry, just thought you deserved one last picture and memory of her. Savor it, the last you'll ever see, possibly see you in court." Paul unwittingly thought Cody simply wanted space, having no idea of her plot against their daughter. In reality, Cody was so distraught over Paul leaving her that she wanted to make him suffer the ultimate punishment by taking away the one thing most precious to him, their beautiful little girl Macy. Cody's actions were about utter selfishness and inflicting pain on her ex, caring nothing for the innocent life she crushed in the process. Days later, Cody was arrested for Macy's murder. Throughout her police interrogation and subsequent trial, Cody remained oddly stoic and emotionless. She refused to discuss her motives or show any remorse. Only after 6 days of witness testimonies did Cody finally break down crying, changing her plea to guilty. At her sentencing, the judge condemned Cody's actions as wicked and appalling, displaying utter self-absorption. Cody received life in prison, with the possibility of parole after 16 years and 114 days behind bars. Paul was left to pick up the pieces of his shattered life, struggling with intense anxiety, depression, and regret over what could have been if he'd taken Macy with him when he left. To this day, Cody has never apologized or expressed genuine regret over taking an innocent, irreplaceable young life to satisfy her selfish need for vengeance. If granted parole someday before age 40, there is concern she could pose a danger again without addressing the depravity of her crime. As for Paul, only time will tell if he can ever truly heal from the catastrophic loss of his cherished daughter Macy at the monstrous hands of her own mother. This will undoubtedly remain one of the most heartbreaking and senseless acts of evil imaginable for all impacted by little Macy's short, stolen life.
Yeah, obviously my response from today's sentencing hearing is one that I am pleased. I'm pleased that the conviction's been made and that the sentence has been passed. However, it won't detract from, I don't think that this sentence will fill the gap that Macy's life leaves from Paul and his wider family.